So what's your name?
Hayden.
Hayden, I'm Levin. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And so the first question is going to be, if you had $1,000 extra every single month to do whatever you want, what would you do with that money?
$1,000 extra.
Yeah.
I would $1,000 extra a month.
Yeah. How would that impact your life?
Significantly. I think it wouldn't impact anybody's life, but I would save it and I would invest. I would save and invest. I would definitely make the smart decisions with it. To prepare for my future. Things like that. Education things are important. So.
Hello. So what's your name?
My name's Lori.
Hi, Lori. And my name is Levin. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And my first question to you is, what would you do if you had an extra $1,000 a month to spend on whatever you like?
I'd probably donate it to a shelter for animals.
Donate to animal shelter? Awesome. So you're like a conscientious person. Cool. Cool. So what's your name?
It's Alain.
Alan, good to meet you. My name is Levin.
Nice to meet you.
And so the first question would be, if you had an extra $1,000 every single month to do whatever you like, how would that impact your life and how would you use that money?
But basically, it'll be for the family. So for sure, we'll pay off our condo
Nice.
and basically try to not have that debt in our hands, and then just enjoy it like with basic things like for school, work, and maybe travel a bit more. Try to have like a decent living.
So I mentioned Andrew Yang, and you had saw him on a news segment where he was crying on camera. Right. But did you know that his flagship proposal is a freedom dividend where he's going to give every adult citizen $1,000 a month, every single month with no strings attached?
Oh, that's cool. But I mean, there's got to be strings attached if people are getting $1,000 a month. It just
So there are no strings attached. You could do whatever you want with it. It's also on top of whatever income you're already making. So
what's the payback? What's the
well, the idea is to give everybody a basic income.
Loaded. That sounds like really spring loaded. Like, we could just give everybody $1,000. Like, there has to be. It takes from somewhere. Like, economically, it doesn't make sense. Like, for everybody just to get $1,000 a month. Like, will taxes go up? Will there be some kind of a?
So there will be to pay for the system. There's going to be a value-added tax, which will allow us to harness a little bit of every Amazon sale, a tiny slice of every Google search, Facebook ad, and robot truck mile coming up. We're going to have self-driving taxis coming up.
I think that's innovation we need, out here. But I mean, it would be great. But if it's what other policies is my main concern.
And what if I told you there was a man running for president who wants to give everybody $1,000 a month? What do you think of something like that?
I would take that.
Cool.
Depends on who running for president, though.
So have you heard of a man named Andrew Yang?
Oh yeah, I've heard of him on TV. Yeah.
Okay. What have you heard, and what are your thoughts?
Well, the one and only time I watched him, I was impressed with what he had to say. But I'm not into politics at all. I live on a little island and don't pay much attention to what goes on in the rest of the world.
That sounds
I
nice.
get out in it, so yeah.
Is it Hawaii?
No, up in Washington.
Oh, okay, in Washington State. And you guys are already traveling, right? Where are you from?
Montreal, Canada.
Montreal. Awesome. So, what if I told you there was a man who wants to give people $1,000 a month, no strings attached?
I'd be pretty suspicious.
Very suspicious, right? Well, there's one man, he's running for the American presidency, so it may not be directly relevant to you, but I think this problem he's trying to solve is really a global problem. It has to do with technology and how it's automating a lot of jobs. This man's named Andrew Yang. Have you heard of him?
Yeah.
All right.
So he's running for president here in the
Right.
U.S. for sure.
Yeah. Where did you hear about him?
In the news.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did you hear, and what do you think about him?
Because I think he's not in the. He wants to run, I think, for the Democratic Party, and I think that's one of his plans. He wants to make sure that everybody has like the extra money, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, he's calling it the freedom dividend. So it makes every American a shareholder in the American economy. And so it's also a version of what's called a universal basic income, which a lot of economists and technologists and futurists have been talking about, because as technology automates our economy, there's going to be less and less jobs to do. And we're going to be able to produce a lot more with less and less people. So the problem is we're going to lose about 30 to 40 million jobs in the U.S. And technology affects everybody. So, in Canada, you're probably seeing this a similar thing where you have at your McDonald's, you order on a screen. There's no people. We're going to have self-driving cars and trucks.
Yeah, and I work in engineering and technology, so I work into making those types of jobs happen. So
Yeah, I used to work for Amazon Robotics myself. I quit about 2 years ago. Okay. So, and Andrew Yang points out he himself is a tech entrepreneur. So imagine a tech entrepreneur as the U.S. president. I'll tell you a little bit about his overall. This is his campaign sticker, by the way, and he's a tech entrepreneur. Okay. So he's all about the math and the numbers.
We're relatable there.
Yeah, and math also is a acronym for Make America Think Harder.
Okay.
So he's challenging Americans to think harder. His other campaign slogan is Humanity First.
Oh, okay.
Humanity First.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah. And so he has 3 big policies. One is Medicare for all. Now, almost every Democratic candidate has that.
Got to get like Canada, huh?
Right. The other one is the freedom dividend, which I just told you about.
Okay.
And then the other one is what he's called human-centered capitalism. And that has a lot to do with humanity first. He's pointing out, being a tech entrepreneur, he knows how capitalism works. He's already savvy with that system, but he also knows that the flaws of the system. And we have a winner-take-all landscape, especially with technology now, that you can have a multi-million-dollar company with like 2 employees. Right. So, and across the economy, we're automating away 30% of all jobs in the next 10, 20 years.
I heard it's like upwards of 30%. So it's like, you don't know how that's going to affect people, but,
Yeah.
So it's scary to think about. I hope it's not right. I hope it's off about it. I think jobs are good for people, not robots and things like that. Innovation is good, but innovation has its purpose under the control of people and under the service of people, because then...
That's the whole idea of humanity.
An element out of it, the robots are really just taking jobs,
They're taking jobs and they're serving only the corporations that own them.
Exactly. So it's, the world is changing in a lot of ways, and we have to all think harder to make the right things happen for everybody,
I remember when I visited Western Washington was the first time I learned what a GUI duck was.
Oh, I love them.
They are funny as hell. I remember I was walking on the beach.
Dogs are not allowed on the beach or boardwalk right now. No dogs.
Yeah?
No dogs on the beach. We're good. I remember walking down on the beach, and all of a sudden, like, water would shoot up from the ground.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Delicious.
yeah.
If you can get one.
Right. And then I looked them up. Yeah. Everybody look up GUI ducks. They're the funniest creatures in existence.
You have to go
It's
up
crazy.
Second Drive for those up in Bellingham.
Anyway, so back to this man. His where did you see him in the Democratic debates?
I saw him on the TV show. Only for a few minutes, but anybody's better than the person that they have there now.
For sure. And to that end, Andrew Yang's already, there's a poll that came out last month showing that he's already winning over 10% of former 2016 Trump voters.
Okay.
So what that means is if he gets the nomination, he will win.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
Anybody but
Yeah.
the one we have there now.
And can I give you one of his campaign stickers?
Sure.
So this is Andrew Yang's campaign sticker. And he's a math and numbers, he's a technologist, a tech entrepreneur. So his hat stands for Make America Think Harder.
Well, that's a good idea. Yeah. Instead of listening to stupid people.
Right. America, I think, has lost a lot of clout in the world stage in terms of its values. And, what I'm really excited about is Andrew Yang's values are just amazing. Like, for example, this is his campaign sticker. And his hat says math, and he's a math and numbers guy. But it's also an acronym for Make America Think Harder. And his other campaign slogan is Humanity First, which means to make the economy work for humanity rather than, because right now the system used to work more or less like 50 years ago. Capitalism used to work because if you wanted to make money, you have to hire workers. And you have to retain workers, you got to pay them enough. So there was a natural thing where there was a middle class. But now we have technology, and big people with a lot of capital can do so much and cut out all the workers. So, that's the problem he's trying to solve.
It's a tough problem to solve.
It's a tough problem to solve, and it's one that we can't really avoid because we're about to come, the technology wave is about to come crashing down on us. What did you think when he did shed tears?
I just think it shouldn't sway anybody's decision on policies that should be in effect. Certain policies, but it just depends. If that's how he felt, nobody can take that away from him. He just decided to cry on TV. For me, I would have tried to held it back, but emotion has its place.
Right.
The truth can't always be told, but here we are.
Yeah.
Hallelujah! It's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day,
God is good, ain't he?
and it's gonna be a beautiful year when this guy gets elected. I mean, imagine if everybody got 1,000.
God good, man.
Yeah.
God is good, man.
God is good.
He is good.
God is good.
God good, man. God is good, man.
God is good. God is great. Imagine like all your friends will be getting $1,000 a month too. Wouldn't they be more fun to hang out with?
Yeah, I mean, but it's bigger than that. I don't think money should just be given out with the right intention. A lot of people don't know their nature, so they don't know really who they are or what they're doing out here. So why give irresponsible people money? I think all things need to be considered.
Mm-hmm.
Like usable money, what it's used for, these things like that. Certain things need to be taken care of, like in the form of, support and assistance and things like that, and grants or, but just not money, not always money, because money can,
Because people can do bad things with it too.
Right. So it's just like, well, if you're giving away money, you're taking care of folks, but you're also enabling people at the same time. So you got to watch out because that depends on the person, what they know, how they're raised, and how comfortable they are living how they are.
So I heard you say that you're a singer.
Yes, I do sing, as a matter of fact.
Is that what you do as a career?
No, it's just kind of, I'm an up-and-coming artist, so it's kind of like something I enjoy to do. I was born with the gift, thank God, and I sing here and there when I can, and if God opens up a door, I'll walk right through it. For the right messages to be delivered. A lot of people don't think about the right stuff. They just sing for their own.
You couldn't test the one and only Mike Titan. I fool rock, now you hear it, now you know it. The body of the life force came forth just to show it's crucial. Lyrical style ain't what it used to. Microphone check 1, 2. I hit the atmosphere, give MCs visions of comets. Technique hit by force the earth, I hit and bomb it. Immaculate conception with the weapon, emitting mind-boggling forms to mental sections. Beats is cooked, bass burning like it's lava. Throwing shit together more iller than MacGyver. I never tire, spirit live like a wire. I came to let you know fantasies burn like desires. Before I go on this mic, I show pity. Coast to coast, I whirlwind through cities.
Hi, my name is Levin, and I just started a new YouTube channel called HumanityFirst Street Team. And my first couple of videos are tips about how to canvas in real life on the street. And I'm gonna make that the central focus of my channel, is to spread some tutorials, some tips, and examples of street canvassing. Because, as we know, Yang Gang's street game on the ground game's got to be really good to combat all the crappy coverage we've been getting from the mainstream media. So I figured that's what my focus will be. I would love to have you guys check it out and give me some feedback. I'm still developing this. It's really exciting, fun, but also challenging. I'm like pushing my comfort zones. I'm trying to test out like what feels good to people, what people like, what they don't like, what's awkward, what's not awkward, and all of those things. I think as I work through them in myself, those are things that a lot of people will encounter when they start to do street canvassing. So I figured I share my experience and have you guys participate with me. Yes, link below.